Fuck. My dudes. The update is in. Women and children are suffering because men, like yourself, like myself, didn't have an outlet, didn't have other men that came into our lives and showed us the way on what it actually means to be a man. My wife is highly connected, empathic, and a very powerful divine feminine. And because of that, I get privy of the communities that she's able to be in touch with. And those communities are women. Women are going through it just like everybody else. I'm sure that you as a man are going through it. But here's the thing. These women are suffering because we were never taught what it meant to be a man. We were not initiated. And thank God there are teams and support groups and experiences and books and things that have the ability to propel us to the next level. I say this because it's time to lock arms with other men. There are in abundance popping up communities, and the launch of the Leading Man Initiative comes from this very heavy burden that men are killing their loved ones. Men are committing suicide. And the LMI, the Leading Man Initiative, isn't a cure-all for that. Any support team out there isn't going to cure this epidemic. But what it will do is connect you with like-minded individuals that will inspire you, that will allow your kernel of genius to pop and start your thing. I was blessed to be introduced right after I got sober to a team of men. I was blessed to be able to participate in multiple teams of men and really create a barricade of awareness, a barricade of working through your shit and your trauma, because it is not your spouse's responsibility. It is not your girlfriend's responsibility. It is not your sister or your mom's responsibility or your friends who happen to be females to show you what it means to be a man and how to fucking act like one. But you know what? Because this is such a heavy burden, I have shown up with my particular ingredient, which is fucking magic. Magic everywhere. And that just means there's an enhanced experience to your life. So even the heavy burdens, the world on the shoulders that we get to carry, have the ability to be fun. This is heavy work. This is necessary work. So why not make it fun? What I've done with the Leading Man Initiative is not just create a support team, but create an alliance, create it in a way that allows us to have fun, because we as men forget to have fun. Once we are on that path of responsibility, everything feels so heavy. Everything takes a little bit longer. We're a little bit more stressed. But I remember a time when you were a silly bitch. And I say that in the most loving way, because I myself have to remind myself that I'm a silly bitch. When I get too serious, when I get too much on my mission, then I become this smoldering, intense guy. And then that's just who I've become at this point in my life. So the Leading Man Initiative takes its exercises, takes its coursework from my 10-year experience as a professional actor. All the metaphysical practices that are aligned with creating, crafting, and showing up as the character that you've decided to be. Because most of us are just a product of our environment, a product of our families, a product of our work. And it's time for you to shine. You have a particular way of speaking. You have a particular way of loving that the world is craving right now. So perhaps this is an invitation. My story goes in a little bit deeper to how this all came to be and why we're launching now in this place and time. And you can check that out on the first podcast of the Leading Man Initiative, called the Leading Man Initiative Podcast. So feel free to investigate. You are no longer alone. There are no more excuses for you. Those that try to do it alone can do it. They can do it. But there's this thing called pain, and then there's this thing called suffering. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. And the description of suffering is expending any type of physical or emotional or psychological energy on something that you do not need to do that on anymore. So my name is Jonathan Navi. I'm proud to stand as a director of the Leading Man Initiative. It's time to assemble. And it's time to really be yourself, to own it, because that is why people love you. And if we boil it down to love and why we do anything, we're scared of dying. We're scared of not providing for our family because that leads to death. We're scared of not being loved because not being loved means you die alone. So that is a lot to unpackage in a short little video. So with that, keep investigating, keep scrolling for the good. Look for the good, scroll for the good. Be very selective on what you let enter this. Enter this. Let's align the mind and the heart and get to it. It's a pleasure to be here with you, and I'll see you on the next one.